Morning, yes, it is time for another unbagging video. I've been to another convention. I brought back more stuff to unbag, unbox, and review in due course. So this is going to be quite an interesting thing. So it is, let me see, Tuesday, 1st of August. It is a, well, mild grey day at the moment. I've got a nice hot cup of tea. And I have just got back from Continuum, which is a well-organised convention at Leicester University, and I have played 8 games over the course of 3 days, which is more face-to-face gaming than I have done in a very long time. And in terms of traders and the like, just the one trader there, Leisure Games, and the Bring and Buy, which I picked over and got some choice items for my delectation and perusal and eventual essentially examination under both pen and video, as it were. So let's see what I've got in here. So the big bag I've got, let me see, I have let's take that off. This is Dragon's Den. The original Dragon's Den, as it were. This is a box set for Dungeons and Dragons, an adventure which really showcased. I'm trying to think. When did this come out? 1992. This is just a part of the ongoing attempt by TSR back in the day to do an introductory kind of series and setup for Dungeons and Dragons, and throughout the 90s, there's so many introductory products. That was one of them, as was this, which is First Quest. Famously, the Dungeons and Dragons box set with the video in it. Sorry, not video, the CD in it. Just show you that. I've got a CD. There we go. You actually got a CD in there, which would help you learn to play. So that's an interesting thing. So that, as an introductory sort of like part, so that was, let me see, trying to look, 1994. So, you know, you had that big box set from 92, which was part of an ongoing series. It's not the original box set there. And then below that we have this bag. So let's deal with this bundle here. Trying to get it all together. This was a collection of little things from the compendium, from the Bring and Buy. So we have Convulsion Next Generation Anthology 4 from Convulsion 4, because back in the day, the conventions that sort of like connected to Continuum and its organisers would do booklets like this, which would have actual contributions, actual content that you could play and use in your games. We have Earth Tech Jeroen, which is a book about weapons and gear left by the colonists in caches, and which has survived sort of 3,500 years for the on the world of Jeroen, for the role-playing game Scarons of Jeroen. And back in the late 80s, this would have been quite difficult to get a hold of. So, Amazing Engine, role-playing game, again from TSR, but surprisingly innovative for TSR, because what you had was this system guide gave you all the rules, and you could port one character over to, from one setting to another And the first setting was the Universe book for Amazing Engine for Fairy, Queen and Country. So a generic universal role-playing game, quite an innovation for TSR. Again, in the 90s. So, you know, TSR was kind of doing things like, oh, we're going to do this, you know, new role-playing, new version of Dungeons & Dragons again and again, but sort of like somebody let, I think it's Dave Cook, off the hook to create quite an innovative role-playing game for TSR. So, Children of Enemy, which is a source book of monsters and stats for RuneQuest. Another program book. This is not quite sure what event that is for, but you know, I will have a look for it. I will find out when it comes to an actual proper review. Cree Mountain, a campaign of attrition against a ravening horde, a Mega Duck production from 1984. Sadly, not an original photocopy, but still very rare. Again for RuneQuest. The Glorious Reascent of Yum, Vernacular Edition, which is a source book and myth and history for RuneQuest. And then we have a stack of books for Over the Edge, source book of Nightmare. And these are all really, really kind of cheap. I didn't really spend too much actually at the Bring and Buy. Cloaks, The Myth of Self, New Faces, and House Call, Whether the Cuckoo Likes, and Unauthorized Broadcast. So yeah, stack of sort of little stuff for Over the Edge. Now, Over the Edge is really fantastic setting of Al Amarja island, which nobody kind of acknowledges, but it's there in the Mediterranean. A dictatorship where essentially it is a capitalist, scientific, occult, mystical free-for-all. Also, plus all the conspiracies you can imagine, just poured into a blender and given a whirl or two. It's a really sort of, there's just so much going on the island, and you play generally tourists and just getting caught up in the weirdness. So yeah, that's all that. Just so carry on with this. We have this is stuff I got from Leisure Games. So Marching Order, a solo role-playing game, can also be played in a group. So that's an OSR style role-playing game. Stygian Library, which is a role-playing game about the role-playing game. It's a dungeon about the interstitial spaces between libraries. So it's an inter-library dungeon bash. Copy of Wander Home, which I absolutely adore. It's basically a game about travel in a fantasy world. We have Beasts of the Outer Worlds, which is a bestiary for the Rainy City setting, which is a generic fantasy city where it always rains and it's utterly weird, and again, that's fantastic. Wretched, which is the role-playing game of survival and horror alone in a spaceship, in which you are hunted by a creature that kills the rest of the crew, and you have to repair the ship at the same time. Passion de la Passions. This is the latest game from Magpie Games, and it's a role-playing game in which you play out the dramas of Central American and South American soap operas. To basically feel it's the role-playing game of telenovelas, which I've got to be honest, I don't watch a telenovela because essentially I mean, I would actually have to go out and track them down, find one, and to find out what it's actually like. But I am, and the reason why I have that, because it's a role-playing game, and I'm fascinated by the drama and the potential of it. It's pretty much like the other role-playing game from Magpie Games, Cartel. Well, I only know about sort of like the drug trafficking from media, so it's completely alien to our experience. So, okay, so and finally, we have Into the Cess, a Citadel, and this is just a very nice looking book, and kind of location at, it looks to be sort of like a big kind of sandbox thing, and I thought, oh, that looks interesting, I'll take that. So yes, these are all the things. Is that everything? That is everything that came back from Continuum with me. So yet more things for me to write about, unbox, and so on, which will keep me busy for the next few months. Okay, well, I hope you've enjoyed this unbagging in the Nook. If you have, please do click on the like button down below, and of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, and unbaggings in the Nook, where you will see me out here with a bag or two containing a pile of books, or two, which I will unbox, unbag, and talk about to the best extent of my ability for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do click on the subscribe button down below. In the meantime, thanks again for watching another Unbagging in the Nook, and I won't be back with another Unbagging in the Nook, I don't think, probably until December or November, which is where my next conventions will be, but I will be back again with another unboxing in the Nook very soon. So thanks again for watching, and I'll be back again soon here in the Nook. Bye for now.